Okay, let's look at these questions. We do exactly the same thing we do at GCSE. So calculate the frequency of red light. So I would always start off with F equals question mark. So extract the information. If the speed of light, which it is 300 megameters per second, which is 300, and you just replace the mega by 10 to the 6 meters per second. But if you type it in your calculator and hit equals, it will tell you that's the same as 3 by 10 to the 8 meters per second. And the wavelength is 700 nanometers. We just replace the nano with by 10 to the minus 9. You would be expected to know that meters. Once we've done our conversions, then it's just like GCSE. We just use the equation. 3 by 10 to the 8 equals 700 by 10 to the minus 9. F, divide both sides by the 700 nanometers. And that will give us 3 by 10 to the 8 divided by 700 by 10 to the minus 9 is equal to 4.29, the three significant figures, by 10 to the 14 hertz. Okay. What is the velocity of sound? So we're trying to find V. If a 1 megahertz, so that's the frequency, which just means 1 by 10 to the 6 hertz, has a wavelength of 330 microwaves by 10 to the minus 6 meters, V equals F lambda. V equals 1 by 10 to the 6 multiplied by 330 by 10 to the minus 6. You can type that into your calculator, but you should be able to deal with indices a little bit. What we do is we take the numbers and we multiply them. And then we take the indices and we multiply them. Now, this bit here, 1 times 330 is just 330. 10 to the 6 is like multiplying by 10 6 times. 10 to the minus 6 is dividing by 10 6 times. They cancel each other out. Another way of doing that is we add the indices that the 10 is raised to. So we add 6 to minus 6 gives us 0. 10 to the 0 is 1, so it just equals 330 meters per second. Final question then. Calculate the time period of a gamma ray if it has a wavelength of 2 picometers and travels at a velocity of 300 by 10 to the 6, well, 300 megameters per second. That's just that value, which is 3 by 10 to the 8. Our pico is 2 by 10 to the minus 12. And we're trying to find the time period. Now, I don't have an equation that links those three things. So the first thing I'm going to do is find F. So we're going to do V equals F lambda 3 by 10 to the 8 equals 2 by 10 to the minus 12 F. Divide both sides by 2 to the minus 12. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. 8 divided by 10 to the minus 12, sorry, 10 to the 8 divided by 10 to the minus 12. Well, dividing by 10 to the minus 12 is the same as multiplying by 10 to the 12. In which case it would be 10 to the 12 times 10 to the 8. We just add the indices. And it gives us a very, very high frequency. However, we need to find the time period. So the length of time for one of those waves, so 1 divided by 1.5 is 0.667. I mean, type this into your calculators is probably easier. Seconds, which would just be 6.67 by 10 to the minus 21 seconds. Okay.